Welcome to Ironsight, a PC-only, free-to-play shooter, developed by Whipple Games. This game can be best described as the peak of Call of Duty in a free-to-play form. It is more or less Black Ops 2, had it been developed much more recently. In fact, the whole identity of this game simply is Call of Duty. From the start of match countdown timer, the way you call in score streaks, and even the look of the maps, the whole game's identity is a Call of Duty clone. Getting the game is easy enough, however, it needs to be downloaded directly from their website. From there, all that's left is to pick a call sign. This process was quite puzzling, as it didn't let me use my regular name, because it contained what they call a forbidden word. However, after some experimenting, it seemed as if perhaps more questionable names were already in use. But moving along, the look of this game is quite good, with the focus clearly being on performance, rather than trying to replicate Battlefield's Frostbite engine. This makes it run quite well on lower powered PCs, as well as being able to max frame counts on the NASA computers many of us invest in. The loadouts also call back to a time where Call of Duty had a much larger variety in weapons, with the usual selection of guns and an impressive amount of equipment to choose from. And as someone who has always been a fan of underpowered weapons, the ability to use throwing knives and crossbows is a huge plus. There's also the usual loadout options, such as perks, that would make any Call of Duty fan feel right at home. However, score streaks are what really made me more interested and makes it feel different from any other COD game. In Ironsight, score streaks are earned by anything that helps your team, which includes getting kills, assisting kills, and playing the objective. The score streak meter also generates over time, regardless of how much you've resembled a potato. Score streak progress does not reset after death, meaning that players are more likely to play the objective and less likely to camp in a corner. The power of the score streaks themselves also never feel overbearing. Half of score streaks are purely to assist your team, with intelligence and counterintelligence playing a big role in matches. The other half is comprised of more offensive kill streaks, however getting killed by them never felt unfair, which can often be a problem with this concept. However, being a free-to-play game means that the revenue model will likely be a deterrent to many people. Players will need to grind for each gun individually, although it should be noted that weapons can be bought in any order. The time it takes to save up enough in-game currency will vary, however excluding specific challenges, a player will be able to acquire a new primary weapon once every week of regular playtime, although in practice this will likely be much quicker. Alternatively, there's a clusterfuck of premium currency that's available to purchase. Prepare to be introduced to the most free-to-play bullshit you've ever seen. Let's say you want to purchase the base version of this gun, which costs 20,000 gold pieces. You can either grind for the currency in game, or turn to the premium currency. Let's assume you do want to pay with real money, so you try to purchase gold pieces with this fidget spinner looking shit. But in order to get this money, you need to buy another kind of currency called AP. For 50 Australian dollars, or 37 US dollars, you can buy this obscure amount which includes a 15% discount. As you can see, the whole design of this system is to blur how much each item actually costs. However, I've gone ahead and done the calculations, so you can make informed decisions, also because working out is boring. Ultimately, after converting 4 different currencies, it worked out to be just over 7 US dollars for a standard gun, including the 15% discount. However, if players want the best looking guns that come with customized reload animations, it becomes even more complicated. For instance, to obtain this weapon skin, players are required to purchase 3 separate guns with 2 separate currencies as an unlock requirement. If purchased with premium currency, this gun works out to cost just over 80 US dollars, also including the 15% discount. Another similar trend can be seen with the cosmetic items. Players can pay $22 to dance till they're dead, $3 to get some filthy dreadlocks, $10 to experience more freedom, and $24 to become a woman. A few other features that will make people feel rubbed the wrong way is the fact that lethal and tactical equipment is rented as opposed to outright bought, and the need for guns to be repaired with gold pieces. Both of these features seem completely unnecessary and can kindly fuck right off. The revenue model of this game, in my opinion, is its single worst feature, and personally I would have liked the option to outright buy all the weapons for a reasonable price. It's not quite on Battlefront 2 levels of tragic when it comes to business decisions making games worse, but it's far from the Titanfall 2 utopia that it could have been. After analyzing all of these questionable business practices, it can be really easy to outright dismiss this game. However, Ironsight just feels good to play. It's hard to describe why guns feel better in particular games, but in this instance, the developers have managed to strike an excellent balance between the guns feeling weighty, while at the same time very forgiving to use. Every gun has that dopamine-filled capacity to just make a player feel good when they are playing, and it's not uncommon for average players to have moments where they are able to tear up their competition in short bursts of greatness. Quickscopers especially are going to feel right at home with these weapons, as the snipers feel very powerful if the player can land their shots. However, just punishing enough to give opposing players time to retaliate. A few minor gripes about this game are that matches often feel slightly too short, though this may just be down to personal preference. Also, the hit registration in my own experience was questionable at best, but this may simply be a case of quality Australian internet. I think it's important to manage some expectations for this game, as it is not something that will ever make meaningful headlines in the shooter world. However, if you're looking for a mostly mindless shooter, where you don't need to rely on your team, and you just want to focus on killing idiots, this may be something you will enjoy. The best way to describe this game is something you play while you're waiting for the shooter season to come back around, but depending on who you are, you might just stick around long after. My ultimate recommendation is to try this game if it looks interesting. However, to hold off on dropping any money until you've played for around 20 hours. By then, players will know whether they are willing to commit to this game, and if they find the gameplay compelling enough to want to skip the grind. This has been a short review on Ironsight. A link to download the game is in the description. But until next time, have fun and embrace the bullshit.